Homecoming weekend continues at U.S. Cellular Field, and Roberto Hernandez and Lance Johnson are back. Evidently, the last 2 days were the semifinals. You guys were the winners, so you get to come back for the championship round today on Sunday.
And hopefully it's a win.
How about it, right?
Yeah, we didn't want to mention that since the guys showed up, things haven't gone real well. Apparently, they're not taking a page out of your book, Mr. Johnson, and getting on base and trying to have somebody knock you in.
Well, this is a learning period for some of them, and they'll learn how to. You're either going to learn how to get on base or you're going to be out of here.
Well, even when you guys were having those great years in the 90s, you're still going to lose some games. How do you bounce back from that? What do you do in a situation like this?
Well, you just have to remember that there's going to be another ball game tomorrow, and as a hitter, if you don't do well, you have to make the pitcher pay the next time that you play. So, those were my rules.
One more question for you, because we haven't seen a whole lot of really good 1 and 2 hitters in baseball these days. We happen to have a good one in Adam Eaton. You were a one-hitter most of your career, but hitting at the top of the lineup, what do you look for? What do you try to do against any pitcher?
Well, it's really not that complicated. What I tried to do was I was actually ready to hit a fastball every pitch. A lot of these guys,
yeah.
I recognize that, look, I can't hit a curveball. I can't hit a slider. I can't hit a splitter. I can't hit a sinker. So why swing at it? So my plan, I looked for a fastball every pitch. And if the pitcher was dumb enough to throw me a first pitch fastball right down the middle, I might only see 5 balls that day.
Yeah, but if you hit them hard, it really doesn't matter how many you really see. And Roberto, coming in at the end, being the man responsible for the big outs, 25, 6, and 7, how did you prepare yourself from a guy that was a starting pitcher your whole life, and all of a sudden now you find yourself at the back end? How does that transformation take place?
Well, it's not easy in the beginning, but one thing that I learned was with the good coaching that we had here is go to my strength and use my defense. And back then this was one of the toughest ballparks that hit homers. So we had an advantage pitching here. It was windy, and when you had Ozzie, Joey, and Robbins, hit the ball in the ground. Let me see you try to get it through these guys.
I saw you laughing while Lance was talking there. What do you make of what he just said about looking for a fastball?
It's true.
Yeah, it's true.
A lot of guys, work counts and get into pitchers count. Sometimes it's good to, if you're going to get a fastball or a strike, it might be the best pitch you're going to see the first one, the entire at bat.
And on top of that, I really studied the game, and you know how the old saying is you're going to get one pitch to hit every at bat. Well, I figured out how to get 2 pitches to hit.
So how'd you do that? Because a lot of times if a guy is a really good pitcher, you look for the one mistake. Obviously, you talked about looking for the fastball, but how did you wind up getting 2 pitches to hit?
It was easy. The first time I came up, I was back in AAA for 2 years after 45 days. So, I was a fast guy. So what they did was they said, okay, Lance, we're going to throw the ball up and away and let you hit the ball as far as you want away. And I learned. That was the best lesson I learned. So what I did was I taught myself how to hit high balls that were over my head during the winter. And I actually had 2 swings. So I had a swing for a regular fastball, and I had a swing for a high fastball. And I knew that when I came up that last time that I wasn't going back down.
I can relate to that because I also had 2 swings. None of them resulted in any contact, but they were distinctly different.
This one into right field, and Eaton plays it back in off the hit from Kane. Which was the team when you guys were playing that you really didn't like? Who were the guys that you didn't like?
Cleveland.
No questions asked. Cleveland.
For me, it was more of a pitcher.
Who's that?
Jamie Moore. I don't think I never got a hit off that guy.
Well, he threw 40 miles an hour. How come you didn't get any hits?
Exactly. Exactly. I was trying to figure out how the ball stayed airborne without gravity coming in there and taking it to the ground. So.
Well, you weren't the Lone Ranger because Jamie, although not overwhelming, stayed a long time because he had a changeup that nobody could read, and it never seemed to get to the plate.
It got slower and slower.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do have to thank him for one thing. He's the man that got me to swing that heavy bat. I hit my hardest ball off of him. It was a 36-ounce bat, and then after that, I started using heavier bats.
I'm told by the folks in the truck, by the way, that you were 2 for 15 against Jamie Moyer. So better than you thought.
Oh, wow.
How about it?
I'll take that.
Yeah, but you hit in tough luck against him.
Roberto, who was the guy that you didn't like to face?
Edgar Martinez.
Yeah?
It made me think too much. You know, on the mound, Steve will relate to this. You know, when you're on the mound and you start thinking, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, Edgar was one of the guys that redefined the designated hitter position because he seemingly was always a designated hitter, and he did it really well. He didn't have to adjust to that nothing in between your four at bats, and he was a guy that used the whole field. Did that make you as crazy as it made me? If a guy used the whole field, I didn't seem like I had one spot to pitch him. I was kind of in trouble.
Yeah. You know, one trip we went into Seattle and I saw we were walking in the outfield and Jamie Moyer walked towards us. And Wilson Alvarez and myself, we were asking him a couple of questions. And Wilson said, "How do you get Edgar out?" He said, "Very simple. Throw it right down the middle." And I turned around, "Are you crazy?" He said he doesn't know what to do with a ball down the middle because he doesn't know how to adjust his hands because he's always looking to go to right field or pull it. I'm like, I don't know if I trust that. Wilson went out there, did it, and I did it. I got him out for I think one time after that, and I'm saying, I mean, you get away with one pitch right down the middle, I'll take my hand.
That's okay?
That's okay, one time.
Well, if you guys really enjoyed this weekend, I know, coming back with the guys that you've played with and you can relate to certainly, was it kind of a nice weekend for you?
Yes.
Yes, it was outstanding.
It's an outstanding weekend. You get to see faces that you haven't seen in a long time. You know, the stories get bigger and bigger.
Sure.
You know, but, the number one thing, we have to thank the White Sox organization for pulling this because, not many teams do this, and this is very gratifying. And that 90s era was, before the strike, was a very good White Sox team.
And, of course, it's the 25th anniversary of this ballpark. And the Sox do a great job of making it cohesive with the players from yesteryear, integrating with the players from today.
Hey, you got the Sox out of a trouble spot here. Maybe you guys can come back.
Way to go, guys.
Great to see you.
Hey,
Good seeing you, man.
We need them to win, so you guys invite us back.
How about it? Lance, Roberto, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you, guys.